Welcome to We're Right Here. I'm Karen Richards with CMB Bank, and today we have Owen Elliott, CMB's newest commercial banker. Owen, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, happy you're here. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about me. I'm born and raised in Hedgesville, West Virginia, Berkeley County native. Grew up on an apple orchard in Hedgesville. Been a big piece of the community since I was a kid. My dad has been heavily involved. My mom has been heavily involved with sports teams and different things in the area. So very happy to be a part of a community bank that also feels the same way.
Yeah, so you recently made a career change. So what led you to that decision?
So I was already in the commercial insurance world.
Okay.
So I worked a lot with CMB or other banks on getting deals done to put together packages for people. So I kind of seen that side of it beforehand. So to me, it hasn't been a huge change. But when kind of looking at that decision, like what I wanted to do, um, I felt like I was drawn towards the idea of helping people grow their business and give them opportunities to do new things. I felt like insurance was more on we're trying to keep assets protected for people. And you were always thinking of like what could go wrong. Where
Mhm.
banking, we're trying to find what's going right. We
Mhm.
want businesses to have cash flows and be looking towards the future. And to me, it just is a little bit of a change to where I feel like I'm more excited in the mornings to go to work.
That's a good perspective. I like that. There's some similarities, yet some differences
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Hmm.
They need each other.
Right. We need each other.
Yep.
Yeah. So you mentioned sports. You grew up in sports. Families are involved in sports. So tell us a little bit about that. You've got a amateur golf status, right?
Yep, yeah. So golf is probably the last thing anyone ever thought that I'd get into.
Mhm.
Growing up, I was the normal basketball, baseball, football kid. My sister was a great softball player growing up, so was always involved with her sports. She was a volleyball and basketball player as well. And then right around the age of 9 or 10, my dad was really into the game of golf, and I was like, man, I'd much rather go hang out with you there than at the orchard. Like it's much more fun than
Right.
working at the farm. So I started going with him here and there, and he had a weird way of teaching me how to play. He gave me one golf ball, and if I lost it, I was done for the day. Like I could kind of chip and putt around the green and hang out with him, but if I lost the ball, I was done. So then I got this like competitiveness to me. I was like, I have to do this. I have to find a way to not lose a golf ball throughout the round. And then I think I was 11 the first time I finally did that. And after that, he had already created the animal. So after that, it was full golf mode. So no more baseball. The day I quit baseball, though, I think it was the hardest day of my dad's life.
Mm,
He
I
was
bet.
very upset, but
Yeah.
I still played basketball through high school, and I now coach basketball at Washington High School, and that's something that I've always been super passionate about as well. So staying involved in sports is a big piece for me because I just think that sports give a perspective to kids that you can't replace.
I didn't know you're a basketball coach.
Yep.
Good to know.
Basketball coach at Washington High School. This will be my third year there this year. I probably will be taking a little bit of a step back, just a lot with the golf and the
Sure.
work and all that. But the last 2 years have been great, and the kids are great. I mean, that's what keeps me there. I mean, we're fortunate that we have a group of kids that are really driven in the game, but they're also good kids. They
Hmm.
they are working towards going to college, whether that's with basketball or not, and that's what we're there for. I mean, we're
Hmm.
trying to produce young men that are also good athletes.
Hmm. Yeah, and I've got two young kids, both in sports, and so you're right. There's a lot of lessons to be learned from a team sport for sure. So how about golf? How can you kind of carry over a lesson from golf into the business world?
Well, I mean, there's so many books out there that are affiliated with golf and business and how to meet people and how to network through the game. I mean,
Mm.
golf is one of those things that it's almost a timeless sport. I mean, it's been around forever. And I mean, especially bankers. I mean, you feel like you talk about bankers, they talk about banking hours.
Yeah,
It's not real. It's not
yeah.
real. Cut
It's
that.
not.
It's not.
There's
But
golf hours
there's
though.
golf hours,
Uh-huh.
but when you're there, there's a reason you're there, or
Mhm.
it's got to be very what's the word I'm looking for? It's got to be
Has to have a
planned.
purpose.
It's got to be
Yep.
strategic. There's got
Yep.
to be a reason for why you're doing it, or then you're just out there playing
Right.
golf. But the I told somebody this the other day. I mean, what better way to get to know somebody than put an obstacle in their way, which is the game of golf, which is one of the hardest things that you
Mm-hmm.
could possibly play, and see them get frustrated or see them have things not go their way and see how they react to it. I mean, if you're with a business owner and he's just breaking clubs and being mad all the time, it's like, man, how do you think he handles it when things go wrong in business? So, and that's not always the case, but you can just get a lot of a feel for somebody when you spend 4.5 hours with
Mm-hmm.
them on a golf course. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think that is one thing that you can carry everywhere with you, and it's not something where you're just there, just hitting your ball and not talking to each other. You
Mhm.
get to know a lot about the person's family and things they have going on, and it's just one of those things where it helps when you're good at the game. I will say that, like when you play with somebody for the first time and they may have never played with somebody that's a scratch golfer or somebody around that talent level, then you're immediately getting the invite the next time, especially in some
Right.
of these scrambles and stuff
Right.
like that. So I'm not oblivious to that fact, but at the same time, like I will use that to help me to get to know people better. And like I said, keeping it strategic, making sure those
Yeah.
relationships are something that we're seeking after it.
Mhm.
Sorry, I stuttered over that.
You're good. So you and I have the opportunity to golf together a couple times, I think, in the
Yeah,
upcoming weeks. Yeah, so you'll get to know me on the golf course.
absolutely.
Yeah, 4 or 5 hours together. So I get frustrated. So as a new golfer, so I've only golfed over the last year or so. So give me some advice.
Don't get frustrated. I
Yeah,
mean, I know
easier said than done.
it's so much easier said than done, but at the same time, you just have to be patient. I think that's one thing that golf can teach anybody is patience and persistence.
Hmm.
So the more you do it, the better you're gonna get. So,
Hmm.
I've given some lessons or pointers to
Hmm.
people here and there. I'm like, this isn't something you can pick up twice a year and get
Right.
better at. So it's something you gotta stay on.
Yeah. I'll look forward to the pointers.
Deal. There you
Yeah.
go.
So let's talk about community involvement. So obviously at CMB, we are everywhere in our communities, and stewardship's one of our core values. So tell us about some of the organizations that you give back to and why you choose those, whether it's being a board member or volunteering your time.
So before I even got into the business world, something that I've always tried to get back to is the Wounded Warrior Project. Um, I've even when I was in the golf industry before going into insurance, I would try to give lessons or try to be a part of tournaments that they had with the Wounded Warrior Project because if you want to talk about persistence, those gentlemen and women that have gone and given the ultimate sacrifice to
Hmm.
then go back out and try to play the hardest game that there
Hmm.
is with with a disability on top of it. I mean, there's
Yeah.
nothing that makes my heart warm like that. And like they're just so positive and
Hmm.
everything that has happened to them. It's a story.
Yeah.
It's not something that they feel like they got unlucky or anything. They're like, somebody said this to me one time when I was doing it. They said they were on the right side of the divot.
Hmm.
And I was like, the right side of the divot? What do you mean? And they were like, oh, I'm on this side of it, not 6 feet under it. And I was like,
Right.
wow, like it changed my
Yeah.
perspective on the game a lot as
Hmm.
a young man still getting frustrated and trying
Sure.
to make it to that next level. Being affiliated with that really changed my perspective on it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know you're involved with the Chamber of Commerce,
Yep.
also maybe a networking group here and
Yep.
there that you
So
attend regularly.
I'm part of the Eastern Panhandle Prosperity Group, which is a
Okay.
BNI chapter.
Yep.
It's a referral group. We meet on Thursday mornings,
Okay.
8:30 at Hosses. So anybody wants to tag along, feel free to join us. Um, also, just was asked to join the board for the Young Professionals Group in
Yep.
Berkeley County.
Yep.
So we're going to be trying to take that off again. I mean, I think it's been 4 or 5 years since they've had formal meetings, but we just started that back up a couple months ago.
Hmm.
So looking forward to getting to know some more people that are in the community
Yeah.
that are considered young professionals, I guess.
Right. Yeah. What's that? 40 and
I think
under?
it's 45.
Oh, 45. Okay. I still qualify. So tell us, what's been one surprise about banking?
I think from just comparing it to an insurance perspective is a little bit of the pace. So insurance, I mean, you have different deals that are closing almost every day,
Hmm.
and sometimes it's an emergency where somebody has a closing or something
Yep.
that's coming up that the lender might not have been on top of, and the insurance is right down to the wire, and you
Hmm.
getting that insurance deal done is a big depend or it's going to be a big deterrent on whether
Right.
that closing goes through. Where on the banking side, I feel like, especially where I'm at now, I mean, everything is so planned out. They know in this amount of days we need to have this. The customer needs to have this to us by this point. Like, there's all these contact points. So the change of pace is definitely nice. I will say that, but it's good to be with a group that's very organized.
Hmm.
So like I know if it's not here by this time period, I need to be making phone calls. We need to have an idea of what's going on so we can either reevaluate and change times, or we need to get with them so we can help them get organized, help get us the information we need to get that closing date done.
Mhm.
So that part of it is much less stressful.
Much less stressful, that's good.
Yeah.
So what has been a challenge with the career change?
Man, I'd say the biggest challenge is keeping up with Kevin. I mean,
Yeah,
Kevin's
I hear you.
wardrobe, I mean, cheesy Pete's. I mean, I didn't wear a tie today, but I tried to at least wear the jacket.
You got
But
the jacket.
he's looking good every day. I mean, he
Uh-huh.
dresses to the nines. So that's my biggest challenge right
That's your
now is
challenge?
keeping up with the boss. I
Yeah.
mean, but at the end of the day, I I wish I could say that I've had like a really hard challenge, but anytime I've had questions or anytime there's been something that's somewhat of an obstacle, I've always had somebody I can go to and
Yeah.
ask a question, and they're very open to being like, "Oh yeah, here, let's jump in, I'll show you." Like,
Yeah.
so that's, I mean, I haven't really had any huge
That's
obstacles,
great.
but that's part of the team, I guess.
Right. I'm a little biased about the team, but yeah, so talk a little bit more about the team and how that transition has gone for you as far as training and taking you out on business calls. How's that looked?
Well, I mean, it's been great. I mean, like I said earlier, working with them on some deals
Mhm.
beforehand, I've gotten to know Kevin, and ironically, Kevin even worked with my mom when she was in the commercial lending world back in the day at some point or time.
Mhm.
Um, so I've known Kevin for a very long time, and when they approached me about this opportunity, I was like, man, like that sounds awesome. Like getting to hang out with him every day and learn from him. He's been in the industry for so long. Uh, I think that's been the best part of it is just him comparing things to how things used to be done to
Yeah.
how they are now. I mean, even with the suit, he's like
Even with
it's
the
an
suit.
old style banking, but
Uh-huh.
and I love that. I like the face to face, the shake a hand, like be
Mhm.
in there in person. I think that's something that is missing from so many different
Mhm.
things. So that part of it I love.
You think we'll get rid of the tie?
Nope, never gonna
Never
happen.
get rid of the tie?
Not gonna happen.
Not ever gonna
The
happen.
first time
Probably not. Y
the first week on Friday when I found out that it was like, a day where, it's a jean day or whatnot
Mhm.
at the office. When I walked in and Kevin actually had jeans on, I was like, "Whoa." Like, that's a real thing,
What has
like,
happened?
I was like, "Wow." But, it's something I think it's hilarious, but, uh, he's a guy that he takes his time to make sure that he is presentable for the customer, and I'll tell you a funny
Mhm.
story. So the other day, I walked in and I had a suit on. He goes, decided to wear a suit today, huh? And I was like, yeah, we got, things going on today. There's all this stuff, really exciting stuff for the bank. Like, he's like, oh, so that's important. I said, yeah, it's very important. Went back to my office. He gave it about an hour. And
I know where this is going.
he came down to my office and he said, just think about what you said. And today's an important day, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, said, tomorrow, if you don't wear a suit, what about the guy that walks in off the street? Somebody that it comes into the bank and needs, commercial loans, trying to expand their business. Is that person not important?
Mhm.
And I was like, ah, man, you got
He
me. You
gotcha.
got me. So
Mhm.
that's his mindset, and I love it. I
Yeah.
couldn't get behind it more.
Yeah. So, give a piece of advice for somebody looking to make a career change to get into community banking.
Uh, Soak it all in. I mean, the most beautiful thing about being in community banking to me so far is that there's so many people with so much experience
Mhm.
that they're willing to share it. So
Mhm.
anytime, like I said, I've had a question or something's going wrong, I mean, they not only give me the answer, they give me examples or say,
Mhm.
at this point we had this problem or we had this obstacle in our way and we did this, or here's the person you need to go talk to. And just being around a team that has so much experience and is so willing to share it, I mean, just take full advantage of that. And
Mhm.
in the community banking side of it, also take advantage of the awesome customers you get to work with every
Mhm.
day. Like going on sales calls with Kevin and getting to meet some of the people he's been doing business with for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
My goodness, like just those relationships I've built with them, and they're not even my customers. They're just
Right.
people I've met through him, and like that to me is what our community is about, and getting to know what other types of businesses that are coming and like the growth that we're starting to have here in Berkeley County. Very exciting.
That's one of the best things about our team, I think, is that you have a really good mix of team members who have 20 plus years, 30 plus years in the industry. But then we're bringing in someone like you who's new to banking, but is such a perfect fit for us. And so we get those different perspectives. So,
Well, I appreciate you saying that.
we've said for a long time, Mark has said for a long time, if we can find the right personality, the right person that can talk to customers, we can teach banking. So,
That's what he told me. He told me in
yeah,
our the first day there, because I was like, my degree is in financial management, but never really had anything where I applied it. I've never been in
right,
banking. I mean, my mom was a banker for 25 plus years,
yeah,
so I've heard her talk about it. But
right.
he's like, well, don't worry about that part.
We can teach you that part.
We'll teach you that part.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And they've backed it up. They've
Another
definitely
favorite
been
thing
teaching me.
about community banking is the opportunities for education are endless. If you're
Absolutely.
willing to put the time in, we'll train you.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah, and it seems like there's almost a direct, like they're trying to make sure that that
Yeah.
education is there, so that they're making sure that they put the time and effort into having that training done.
Right.
It's very important.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll find you that career path.
Mhm.
So, this past year, you won a pretty big award on the golf course. Tell us about that moment.
Yeah, so I won the West Virginia Amateur this year. It's something going down to that tournament. I had no expectation that that was ever going to happen. I was very stressed in the old job and had a lot going on. And even when I was down there, I was still working. And as the days progressively went on, it was a 4-day tournament. And as the days kept going on, I was like, wow, we're in a pretty good opportunity here
Mm,
to potentially win this. And uh, as after even after the last putt went in, I looked at the guy that was caddying for me. I was like, that actually just happened.
yeah.
Like we really just won. Like that's insane. And even the weeks following it, I couldn't believe it. And it has changed a lot for my golf trajectory, just
Mm.
amateur wise. Gotten accepted into a bunch of different tournaments and got to play in the U.S. Amateur just a couple weeks ago,
Where was
and
that?
that was in San Francisco
Yeah, yeah.
at the
Uh-huh.
Olympic Club,
Yeah.
and getting to meet some of the young players that are going to be the next superstars that are
Mm.
going to be on the PGA Tour even next year. Just seeing their preparation and seeing their ability just changed my perspective on the game,
Mhm.
even at older age. I mean, I just didn't even know a lot of the things that were out there when it comes to that. So
Mhm.
just opening up the opportunities that it has is amazing. And I got to have a cool experience with my dad, and
Yeah.
he's hugging me on the green
Yeah.
after I won, and that's something I'll never forget.
Yeah. So, what's your preparation for a big tournament like that?
So it's changed a lot as
Yeah.
I've gotten older. It
Mhm.
used to be when I was a kid, I ate a Pop Tart and drank chocolate milk and was out on the course. Didn't
Yeah.
worry about warming up, didn't
Mm.
matter. But now that I've gotten older, had a couple surgeries along the way. Like now, it's all about stretching, making sure I'm hydrated, like making sure I have comfortable shoes on.
Man, you're sounding
Like yeah,
old.
yeah. I'm 65-year-old trapped in a 27-year-old
Right.
body. That's
Yeah,
me. Yeah.
that's you. Okay, so tell us, what is your pregame ritual before any big match?
So, when I was younger, the ritual was the Pop Tart and the
Okay.
chocolate milk.
Yeah,
That was the only ritual.
that was
That's what I
it.
had to have, though. And I used to be a little bit more superstitious when I was younger. So, like, if I won a tournament, I'd keep that pair of socks and like would wear that pair of
Yes.
socks the next time I played. And I used to do
Not
all
anymore.
kinds of crazy
Mhm.
stuff. But now it's much more simple. As I stretch, I like to pray before I go
Mhm.
out, and I pray for the same thing every time. I pray for patience and I
Mhm.
pray for wisdom because
Mhm.
sometimes you need it in the moment,
Yeah.
especially in a situation where things might not be going your way. You need that patience, and sometimes I even am praying on the course like, you're testing me
Give
here.
me some
Like I
patience.
really need some patience right now. So the ritual has definitely changed as I've gotten older, but I
Yeah.
try to stick to that while I'm stretching to make sure I have a little prayer, a little bit of
Mhm.
time for me, and then once I get out there, grounds me a little bit.
Yeah. I love that. All of our rituals change over the years, don't
Mm-hmm.
you think, as
For
we get
sure.
older? If you could play a round of golf with anybody, who would it be?
Did I get foursome? So it's
Sure.
me
Yeah,
and
yeah.
three other
Okay, that's
people.
fair.
So I have two answers to that. So I've always said that I would like to time travel and go back to
Mm.
like the peak time of the Rat Pack and play with Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, and Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah.
at like wherever they were a member. Like
Mhm.
just think it would be crazy to be part of that experience. And
Right.
they were avid golfers.
Oh,
So
were they really?
yeah, so
Okay.
and there's all these pictures of them where they had like a cart that had like a bar on the back of it and all
That's
this
cool.
stuff. And I'm like, man, that just looks like it would be
That's where you
fun.
wanna be.
That just looks like it would be fun. And to
Yeah.
hang out with that presence, like, I just think that would be crazy. But my other one, I would like to play with, some of the best players that have ever played in the state of West Virginia. So, like, Sam Snead, is a very common name in the golf world, West Virginia guy. That would be cool to play with him. And there's another guy, his name was Tim Campbell. He's like the best amateur player that's ever come from West Virginia.
Mm.
And then there's another guy that has meant a lot to me in my golf career. His name's Pat Carter, but I'd like to play with him like back in his prime when he's played in 13 U.S. amateurs
Wow.
and he's
Mhm.
just a great player. I'd like to play with all those guys in their prime and just see how they could play.
Yeah. Tell us about a key connection you made on the golf course and how that
Whew.
maybe carried over into the business world.
Man, I don't know if I can limit it down to one. I mean, I've been blessed when it comes to the game of golf, and just have made so many connections that have led to another one, that have led to
Mhm.
another one. I mean, I've played with owners of Fortune 500 companies. I've
Mhm.
played with, other professionals like along the way. And heck, I even was at the golf course one time and ran into Barack Obama. Like
Really?
that, and that was crazy. And he's
Mhm.
left-handed, so I'm left-handed,
Okay.
and he was behind me, and I'm just kind of hitting range balls, and out of nowhere, like the guys behind me are like laughing. And they have because I have no clue what's behind me, and the gentleman that took me there, he's like, "Oh, and like, hey, turn around. There's Barack Obama." Like it was crazy.
Wow.
But just little stuff like that. I mean,
Right.
those are
Little
opportun
stuff.
those but those are opportunities that without the game of golf I would never have had.
Right. What's next on your bucket list, personally or professionally?
I don't have a bucket list. This might be something that's weird about me, but I I, I feel like when I was younger, I was like, I'm gonna do this. I have this plan. I'm gonna go to school, have all these things. And as I got older, I stopped doing that as much because I learned you never know what tomorrow brings. You never know
Mhm.
what opportunity you're gonna get hit with tomorrow. So I feel like if I limit myself to a list, then that's all I'm ever gonna
Mhm.
want to do. So to me, if I can wake up and take advantage of opportunities that are given to me, then that's my bucket list. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that if I'm given an opportunity, I'm at least in a point where I can look at it, weigh it out, and be like, I'm either going to do this or I'm not, and
Mhm.
and live with it from there. So that's
Mhm.
my bucket list.
I like that
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah.
So give us a fun fact about you that we don't already know. Which I already learned that you coach basketball.
Um, I play the guitar,
Okay.
acoustic. I don't play electric guitar, but love to play the guitar. I love music. Always have. Um, let's see, something else. I don't know. That's kind of it. Music and golf. I'm pretty simple.
Pretty simple guy.
Yep.
You like to kayak. I learned that
Yep.
about you
I
the
like
other
to
day.
kayak.
Uh-huh.
I used to fish a lot more when I was
Mhm.
younger. I'm not much of a fisherman anymore, but I
Mhm.
try.
Yeah.
It's
What's
more
your
it's more the it's more the peacefulness from fishing
right.
for me than it
Right.
is the actual fishing.
I agree. Yeah. What's your favorite vacation spot?
North Carolina, anywhere. Love the state of North Carolina.
Did you make it there this year?
Yeah, I was in the Outer Banks with my family a couple weeks ago,
Okay.
or I guess that was about a month ago.
Mhm.
And then for New Year's, I was in Jefferson, North Carolina,
Oh,
which is more in the mountains. Spent New Year's down there, but I just
nice.
love the whole state of North Carolina.
Mm.
It's my favorite place.
What's your favorite food?
Spaghetti.
How about your favorite local restaurant?
That's hard. I don't know. I don't know.
There's a lot,
There's a
right?
lot. Yeah,
There's
I
a
feel like
lot
there's a lot
locally.
that I like. I like bricks. I like
Yeah.
Stonies. It's called the Young American. I call it
Yeah.
the underage American. But I like going there. The Lopez's are good friends of mine, so I like
Oh,
going and seeing
nice.
them.
Yeah. Give us your favorite movie.
Um, it's probably Goodfellas.
Yeah.
I like mafia movies. I don't
Okay.
know why. I just think the mafia is fascinating.
Yeah.
It's a lot more organized than you would think.
Yeah. I bet so.
Yeah.
I bet so. So, Mary Jane and I had the opportunity to go to a marketing conference in Las Vegas earlier this year. So, it was kind of cool to learn the origin of Vegas having to do with the mafia.
Mm-hmm.
It's just out there in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, it's
And
cool to learn.
that's why it was there too.
Right.
They wanted it in the middle of nowhere.
Nothing else there.
And Nevada is like its own territory. They have
Yeah.
their own laws and all kinds of stuff. But
Because of that,
that well,
because of how,
I don't know if that's the origin of why it is, but Nevada has always just kind of been
huh,
a territory where they have their own rules.
okay.
So
I didn't know that.
yeah,
So, before we wrap up, what have we missed? Anything you want to share that we haven't talked about already?
not that I can think of. I think we hit a lot of it.
Yeah.
Heck, now you guys know a lot of my secrets.
Now we know everything about you.
Yeah, exactly.
So, last question. Why C&B? So, if you're talking to a prospect, if you're talking to someone that might consider joining our team, how would you sell C&B Bank?
I would sell basically everything we've already talked about. The team oriented piece is probably the biggest part. Just seeing how everybody works together, and that you hear that all the time.
Mm.
We're a team. We're working towards a common goal. But at the end of the day, everybody has personal things that happen, and
Yeah.
everybody has their own agenda that they need to get done. But at CMB, they truly mean that. Like when you see things start from beginning to end, as I have since I've been here so far, it's a team effort. And if something goes wrong or something isn't the way that it needs to be, then somebody's gonna pick up the pieces and make sure it
Right.
gets done. Like, and there's never a argument. There's never it's supposed to be you, supposed to be you. It doesn't matter. It's somebody picks it up and gets it done.
Hmm.
And to me, I think as a customer, that makes you rest assured that when you're trusting somebody to take care of your banking or somebody to take care of a loan for you at the end of the day,
Mm.
if you know that that's happening in the background, you feel safe because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that's what we're promising. You know, we're promising a customer that we're going to do everything we can to make sure your experience is good with us. And I've seen it day in, day out.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And after I have about 20 years on the CMB Bank team, and so that's definitely been my experience. So you have a month in,
A little over a
a
month,
little
yeah.
over a month
Yeah.
in, and that's been your experience too. So that's great. All righty. Well, that does it. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
And tune in next time for the next episode of We're Right Here.